Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2021 horror film Amityville Cop, a film that is directed by Gregory Hatanaka and it stars Jason Toller, Nicole D'Angelo, Chris Spinelli and Jeffrey Moon. Right, this film focuses on, well basically this film is a cheap remake of Maniac Cop, let's just get that right out of the way. And it focuses on a police department that's full of detectives that don't really seem to do a lot of detecting for a start. And their captain was involved in an incident 20 years previously that essentially has resulted in his ex-partner becoming this demonic cop. And he is going round and serving up his own kind of demonic justice that ends up with a confrontation between this captain and the rest of the police department. Okay, what are my thoughts on Amityville Cop? This is bad. Now, let me just say this. I didn't go into this film, if you like, expecting it to be good. I know there's a tag with any film that tends to put Amityville in the title now because anybody can do that, and you see it all the time in horror films because it's like a public name, Amityville. You could put Amityville on there, and people make that link to the Amityville horror and all that kind of stuff. They don't anymore. They don't seem to get that message. People, as soon as they see Amityville in the title, people just roll their eyes nowadays. But it turns up constantly on an annual basis on cheap, low-budget horror films. They put Amityville in the title. So there's no connection at all to Amityville horror here. It's just in the title. And it's rubbish. This film is not good. There's very, very few positives I can give you, and I've really tried to think of some to give you about this film, and about the best I can come up with is the effects for this demonic cop are decent, even though it looks like a zombie basically, and the guy playing him looks like he's having a good time. Who's playing like this demonic cop? He looks like he's having a fun time. I'm not sure it is who plays the cop. I think is it Lovie Johnson? I'm not sure. I might be wrong. My apologies if I am. That's it. That's really the only positives I can come up with here. There's no real story here other than they try and give this captain this backstory about his partner getting sacrificed and what have you. So he comes back 20 years. I don't know why he comes back 20 years later. It doesn't explain that. But he comes back 20 years later looking for revenge as this demonic cop. But everybody else in the department is inept beyond belief. You never see them do any police work. They're just sat around in the police department cracking jokes. And the main character here, played by Jason Toller, my apologies, Jason, I'm not going to be complimentary here, was annoying as hell. He was it was clear that they were trying to do like an Eddie Murphy spin with him. He was wisecracking, constantly cracking jokes, but they weren't funny, and it's not the 80s anymore, and he's certainly no Eddie Murphy. So it doesn't take long for that character to become immensely annoying in every way, shape or form, and they don't give the actor any material to work with here that is useful at all. In fact, they don't give any of the actors any material here to work with that's useful at all. So therefore, it's full of what you would deem to be poor performances, but it's an incredibly poor script. So there's nothing for them to work with here. It doesn't make any sense as well. As I say, they're a police department that doesn't do any police work. In fact, the captain decides to throw random parties inviting beggars, which, pardon the pun, beggars belief to me, because they know there's these murders happening on the street, and what does the captain decide to do? Send out his whole team onto the streets to try and solve these killings? No, he throws a party for everybody. And then obviously at this party, this demonic cop turns up. And then it's low budget. I know it's low budget, but clearly it's not a police department. It's just an inside of a building. And when they go and get weapons to fight back against this demonic cop, they just walk into a room that's full of weapons that are like laid out on a picnic table type thing. And they've got a rocket launcher. And literally this film made me laugh out loud a couple of times because there's what when he picks up this rocket launcher, you know, I was crying laughing, you know, that they just leave this random rocket launcher lying around on a picnic table. But also they're in a police station, in a police department, and as soon as things start kicking off at the police department, this demonic cop, one of them, in fact, a couple of them pipe up and says, "We should call for backup." And I'm like, "What? You're in the police department. You are the backup." So yeah, positives. Like I said, the effects are decent, and the guy playing the demonic cop looks like he's having a fun time. Thankfully, it's only 70 minutes long, which is another positive, I guess. But this is chronically bad in most ways you could imagine. I have to give it a 2 out of 10. I can't give it any more than that. Even for entertainment value in regards to how bad it is, I couldn't really give it any more than that because it's not really entertaining. It's annoying in times. So yeah, this is one to avoid, guys. Amityville Cop. Let's be honest. Are you really surprised by that score or my analysis of this film? You're probably not. I'm not really surprised either. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you liked the review. I hope you found it useful. I'll be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.